Hey, folks, welcome to More Than a Refresh. We are starting a new series here today, and it's part of our T3D series. And yes, that's a play off of TED Talks. The idea here is what can you learn about something cool in 10 minutes or less? Our guest today is Tushar, not even going to try and pronounce his last name, from Synx Data Labs. Tushar, talk to us a little bit about who you are and what we're talking about today.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me, JD. Hello, everybody. I'm Tushar Pednekar. My background is distributed computing. I've been in this industry for about 2 decades now, to focus specifically on data analytics. And Postgres runs in my blood, right? Like it's just like JD and many of you who are listening right now, right? So or watching us right now, right? So we have been doing Postgres-based distributed computing focused on analytics, data analytics in general, across the globe. Right now, while we record, I'm traveling around Asia here, meeting several customers, bringing this new technology to the market. And what we are really going to talk about today is the open source bits of it, right? So we took a whole bunch of stuff that we've developed over the last couple of decades and donated it into Apache Software Foundation. And that project is called Apache Cloudberry. It's in incubation right now. So I expect in the next 6 months or 9 months, we'll go through the usual ASF processes and reach the top level project where we can drop the incubator pod. And that project is all about giving the industry an alternative to many open source, many data analytics platforms out there. But there is no good open source based data analytics platform which runs for not just in terabytes, but also in the petabyte scale. And that's what Cloudberry is all about. So that's what we're
So,
here talking about.
yeah, and in Cloudberry is Postgres based, but it's also a fork of another fork, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it used to be when you wanted to run many mega terabytes or petabytes, you had to go to Pivotal slash VMware slash Pivotal slash VMware Broadcom Greenplum.
Yes.
And now Broadcom has decided it only wants to focus on the top 50 mega billionaire corporations in the world. And so we need a solution, even though Greenplum used to be open source. So now it's closed source, and we have this open source Cloudberry. What is
Yeah.
the mainline branch that we're currently focused on with Cloudberry?
So the mainline branch right now is Apache Cloudberry 2.0. That we are about to make a release. ASF community is done with their RC processes. Now we are about to get a release out. That's for 2025. And that one, as you mentioned, we took Greenplum and we upgraded the kernel underneath kernel that runs like the underneath Postgres kernel to 14, which is currently supported. And as we went through our roadmap process on like, okay, what's next for 2026? JD, your opinion and several other community members all agreed, and we decided to go to Postgres 16. So the main line, if you look at just the main branch, that's people are already contributing code from Postgres 16 into this Cloudberry project. So we are getting close, ready for 16 for 2026.
Yeah, and I think that's an important step. So, because 14, we really only have about a year and not even a year and a half of support left, right?
Right. Right.
And I do think that the enterprises that would make use of this currently, and hopefully, obviously, we broaden the audience with this open source project, they're going to be okay being a couple of releases back. But
Correct.
the problem is if we get too far back, because the closer to parity you are, and this is a lot of people don't consider this, the closer to parity you are, the easier it is to support the fork, right? It's
Absolutely.
much,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a lot harder if Postgres is on version 22 and you're on and Cloudberry's on 15. It's
Right.
a lot more work. But on the other hand, there's this type of platform, the Cloudberry, what it is, MPP. For those that don't know what MPP is, you're talking about a situation where you have multiple nodes that do multiple processing through a broker. So you connect and you say, I got to do X. And the broker goes, hey, I'm smart. I've been doing AI longer than AI has existed because AI doesn't actually exist even now. Thank you, marketing people. You're dumb. And, it distributes the query out to the appropriate data sets to pull it all back in and provide your data back to you based on the query. But the point of this is being 2 versions back is not bad, right? Because
Yeah.
you're in a truly stable environment at that point, and that's what you need for this. If you're running 18 in 3 months, hey, more power to you. I mean, I will be, but I would never install 18 on a client's server for production unless they said this is what we're doing
Right.
until 18.2 or 3, right? You got to let it get out there and percolate. These are stable systems that are run by actual enterprises now. We can't just be flying by night. So
Exactly.
being essentially 2 years back is actually a good thing.
Yes, it's a solid thing. It gives us like just by going from Postgres 8, 9, or 12, which is the latest Greenplum is, to Postgres 14 based things. We all already got not all the, but many of the really cool features around, foreign data wrappers, which didn't
Mm-hmm.
exist in the previous versions. But at the same time, that's if we go all the way to 18 or even look at it, many of those things are, not just cutting edge, it's like bleeding edge, right? Like enterprises don't want to run data analytics on a platform which is that fresh. I mean, they want new features, but they don't really want the latest and the greatest from Postgres community, because community is really building most of the stuff that goes in is all about, how to make the OLTP systems faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't focus so much on the OLAP features as much as it focuses on OLTP, because that's really the main use case for 90% of Postgres installed across the globe, right? So majority of the Postgres out there are focused on that. So it makes sense for the latest to be there. We don't need it. Our customers don't need the latest and the greatest. But as long as we are not too far behind, it's good, because most SQL that they build on a singleton laptop, that same SQL, they can run it on an MPP engine of Cloudberry
Mm-hmm.
with almost without any change if we are close enough. What happened with Greenplum, or if you look at Amazon Redshift, they are still stuck with Postgres 8. Yeah, they've cherry picked some features from
Right.
newer Postgres, but it's still old. And now to catch up with the Postgres community, it's really hard, right? We
Well,
struggle through it. We are
I
here
think
now.
I think Redshift's kind of a bad example because it specifically solved a problem,
Yes.
right? And sure, they add to it and add features, but it still solves that problem.
Right.
When we're talking about a Greenplum, and now we don't even need to talk about Greenplum anymore. Greenplum doesn't exist for the majority of the world. So let's
Right.
talk about Cloudberry. When we're talking about a Cloudberry, which is again open source and Postgres based, it's solving a larger problem. And one of the problems I think that a lot of people don't understand is, Command Prompt has customers across the board. And we're talking about Fortune 50, Fortune 500, people that don't even register Fortune,
Hmm.
nonprofits, fintech, the
Right.
whole bit. But we have a lot of customers who are relatively small, but they're still dealing with a large amount of data.
Right.
I mean, when you can get a 30 terabyte drive now for $600, people have forgotten that it's actually a good thing to roll data off. Right? So
Yeah.
you end up in this situation where Cloudberry becomes suddenly important for even, I won't say small, but certainly medium size,
Yeah.
data customers as well.
Right.
Um, Now we are T3D, so we got 10 minutes. So we only have about a minute and 15 seconds left. So I want to say something. I want you to close out something with something interesting. All right. What
Sounds
I
good.
want to say is one of the great things about Cloudberry, there are two that I see. One, reasonable code parity. That's the word,
Yeah.
code parity with PostgreSQL proper. That allows it to continue to maintain and grow its feature set. Specifically, the ones I'm thinking about are like around the partitioning changes. And two, we're talking about a truly open source project with defined governance. There's no cowboys in the Apache Foundation. They just kick you out. So
Right.
it's something that you're going to end up in. And it's where not all, but a good portion of the real enterprise open source projects is in the Apache Software Foundation. And there's good reason for that.
That's right.
Tushar, how would you like to close out?
I mean, that's a great point you made, right? So the only thing I would say add to that is, Postgres is important not just to you and I, but many people
Sure.
in the world, right? And if you look at, like, there are a lot of big data analytics companies which came up in the last 5, 6, 10 years. Snowflake, Databricks, like all those big companies, they tried building analytics without using something like PostgreSQL. And now,
Uh-huh.
eventually, if you look at what's happening, they're all looking at a better way to build an analytics platform which has real SQL, and they're acquiring companies. Somebody for 250 million, somebody's acquiring for $1 billion. Yes, there are other use cases of the same PostgreSQL, but there is also an analytics platform which they are trying to build. Fortunately, Cloudberry has been doing it for 20 years on the backs of 40 years of Postgres. So we have a pretty good story here. We have a pretty good solution here for anybody who likes Postgres. If you have large enough data and you have a big problem to solve, but don't want to learn a new thing, you just get it with PostgreSQL, simple, the thing that you already know. There is nothing better than Cloudberry. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I agree. And on closeout, next time we do this, which I assume will be in about a month, let's talk about Cloudberry a little bit more directly. And maybe we can get someone from the community, because we have some real bright minds working on this, and a lot of people that truly believe in the success of this. And with that,
Yes.
this has been a T3D talk by More Than a Refresh. I hope to see more of you. Everybody have a great day.